And we are back. NFL Week 14 predictions. The final week of bye weeks, although we'll talk about that in a moment. To quickly recap Week 13, last week I ended up going 10-6, putting my season total up to 134, 59-1. Also getting my lock of the week right at putting me at 12-1. To recap the teams I got wrong, since there's less, there's Chiefs, Cowboys, Bengals, Ravens, Bears, Eagles, Texans, Colts, Falcons, Jets, and Rams, Panthers, with my lock of the week being the Miami Dolphins, who won against the Saints. All right, with all that being said, Week 14 predictions times. The Patriots at 11-2, 49ers 9-4, Panthers 7-6, and Giants 2-11 are all on a bye week, so no games for them today. Well, this week. Anyway, starting out, we have Thursday Night Football, all games in Eastern Standard Time. We have the 6-5-1 Cowboys and the 7-5 Lions. Both these teams played on Thanksgiving. I mean, they do every year. Both of them actually having really good games. One getting a win with the Cowboys, 31-28 over the Chiefs. One getting a loss, with it being the Lions, 31-24 to the Packers. I think this game means so much for both sides of the ball. Both teams still fighting for a playoff spot on the outside looking in. Both teams still in the race for their division. And this is a huge one, considering it would mean tiebreaker most likely as well for both these teams. Even though, the tie is definitely, with the Cowboys, is throwing in a weird thing. I do have the Lions winning this one being at Detroit. I do think with how meaningful this game is, I think the Lions are going to win this one. I do think this will be a very good game, but I do think the Lions are ultimately going to pull it off. Moving on, December 7th, 1 p.m. games. Sunday football, we have the 1-11 Titans at the 3-9 Browns. This is the Tank Bowl, pretty much deciding draft picks on the off chance that, Tennessee is able to jump literally any team. I think probably Las Vegas is the only one they have a chance at, but both these teams were made from the playoffs. Titans, they lost 25-3 to the Jaguars, while the Browns, they ended up losing 26-8 to the 49ers. I have Cleveland winning this one. I really don't care who wins, to be honest. I actually really do like Tennessee, but I'm going to be smart. I'm going to pick Cleveland. They are the better team in my opinion. I think their defense is going to be too much. I think this is going to be probably like a 13-6 type of game with the Browns reigning victorious. Next, we have the 9-3 Seahawks at the 4-8 Falcons. The Seahawks picking up a win while pitching a shutout, 26-0 over the Vikings, while the Falcons, on the other hand, had a good lead, but ended up choking to the Jets, 27-24. They lost, putting their playoff hope pretty much all but over. They're still alive, technically, due to their division being a cakewalk, but let's be honest, they probably aren't turning it around, especially against the Seahawks team. I'm picking the Seahawks. Colts, Jaguars, this is a huge one. Both teams 8-4. Colts coming off a 2016 loss to the Texans, while the Jaguars 25-3 win over the Titans. Both teams 8-4. Both teams currently in the playoffs. Both teams tied for the division, with the Jaguars at the moment having the tiebreaker. So this game pretty much decides the division. I'm picking the Colts here. I think the Colts, after losing a few in a row and just looking shaky, are definitely going to get a dominant win here. I think this one is going to be close for probably the first half, but I think the Colts are honestly just going to blow them out the water in the second half. I think they're going to pull away, win by multiple scores. I'm taking the Colts. Commanders and Vikings. Commanders 3-9, Vikings 4-8. Commanders coming off of an overtime loss to the Broncos, 27-26, where they could have tied it, but they decided to go for two and, failed. Meanwhile, the Vikings, 26-0 loss to the Seahawks. Granted, this was with their backup quarterback, but either way, pitching a Seahawks, didn't allow a point. You failed to score a point. Don't know, number 9's coming back for the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy. I don't think it really matters. I'm taking the Commanders. They have played really well against teams somehow. They just ultimately aren't finding ways to win. So I'm going to pick the Commanders to win this one. Key thing is, technically both teams are still alive for the playoffs. The Commanders, their only path in is winning their division, which is funny. But they literally need to win out. They need the Eagles to lose out. They need the Cowboys to lose, I believe, 3 of the final 5 minimum. So, yeah, not like you. And on the Vikings, their only path in is hoping to win out, and then I believe the 49ers and a few other teams. 49ers definitely have to lose out, but then a few other teams have to lose a few games as well. So both teams, literally looking at next week being eliminated. Bengals and Bills. Bengals 4-8, Bills 8-4. Bengals picking up the win 32-14 on Thanksgiving night over the Ravens, while the Bills, they also pick up the win 26-7. That wasn't supposed to be 6-7, by the way. No jokes, please. Against the Steelers. I'm going to take the Bills to win. The Bills are just, in my opinion, a better team. Yes, the Bengals are in desperation mode. They technically still have a very viable path to the playoffs with their division being, the two leaders being 6-6, and well, they're 4-8. They're not too far out of it. They do have the tiebreaker over Baltimore. They have split with the Steelers, so if they're able to just win out in the division, they would have the tiebreaker over all the teams. So there's definitely a path for them, but I do think they're going to lose to the Bills. Unfortunately for them, good thing for the Bills, they get the win, keeping their playoff hopes in a good spot. They have a really good kind of lead over everyone else, and then their division, they're kind of trying to chase that still. Saints and Buccaneers. Saints 2-10, Buccaneers 7-5. Saints coming off of a loss 21-17 over the Dolphins, where I've expressed this in the power rankings. They scored a touchdown, so it was 19-17. They go for two. They throw a pick two, whatever you want to call it. Basically, they threw an interception, and the Dolphins returned it back for the 2 points of their own, which caused it to be 21-17. They had to get the onside kick. They do. If they just don't throw that pick two, they win that game. But they had to score a touchdown instead of a field goal, and they weren't able to. So it really sucks for them. Buccaneers, by the way, won 20-17 over the Cardinals. I'm taking the Buccaneers here. The Buccaneers are in a dogfight with the Panthers for the division, with the Panthers looking really hot. And, the last thing you'd want is the Panthers to, I don't know who has the tiebreaker at the moment, but if you lose, you're going to be tied with them. They're on their bye week, so they're going to just be hate-watching this week, essentially. Last thing you want is to be tied with them while losing to the Saints. That will cost you a division record, which is the tiebreaker. It goes head-to-head in that division. So unless you sweep the Panthers, which, like I said, I don't know if you guys have even played yet, then every, win counts. So I'm picking you guys to win, and I'm so confident. Give me them as the lock of the week. Lock of the week. I explain it every week. No difference this week. Every week, I pick one team to win. The catch is, can't pick them again. So I got to be smart. Do I want to pick the good teams? Do I want to pick the mediocre teams who I like in their games? In this case, I'm kind of picking both. I do think the Buccaneers are good and mediocre at the same time. We've seen them play the last few games. If you've seen the ESPN Eliminator Challenge, it's basically that, but you don't get eliminated. You just stay alive. It just counts as a loss. So yeah, give me the Buccaneers both as a win and a lock. Steelers, Ravens, both 6-6, both coming off of losses embarrassingly. Steelers 26-7 lost to the Bills, and the Ravens 32-14 lost to the Bengals on Thanksgiving. I'm going to take the Ravens here. The Ravens having the long week with them playing on Thanksgiving. On Thursday, they have an extra 2 free days to prepare for this game. So I think that is going to be the difference maker. I'm going to take the Ravens. Dolphins, Jets, our final 1 o'clock game. Dolphins 5-7 on a rampage of wins. They pick up the win over the Saints 21-17. Jets 27-24 come from behind win over the Falcons. Their season's over, but hey, they get a good, they're at the moment going to get a good draft pick. We'll see if it lasts. I'm taking the Dolphins here. With so much for them to prove, they're on the hot streak. If they keep winning, stringing these games together, they could very well make a late push in the playoff conversation, especially going against teams like the Jets, bottom feeders. So give me the Dolphins. Moving on to our sole 4:05 p.m. game, we had the Broncos, who are 10-2, coming off of the overtime win against the Commanders, and then the Raiders, who are 2-10, coming off of a 31-14 loss to the Chargers. I'm taking the Broncos here. I think they're going to absolutely destroy the Raiders. Sorry, Raiders, but you guys kind of stink. And Broncos, you have 10 wins. 2 losses. You're pretty good. Rams and Cardinals. Rams 9-3, Cardinals 3-9. The Rams picking up the loss for the first time in a while, it feels like they played really well. 31-28 to the Panthers. They lost. Like I said, they played well, just wasn't able to get it done. Cardinals 2017 lost to the Buccaneers. Same thing. They played well, just wasn't able to get it done. I'm taking the Rams here. They have much more to prove. The Cardinals are eliminated from the playoffs, so they're playing for draft pick at this point in pride. So give me the Rams. This is by far the biggest game of the week, in my opinion. Maybe Colts Jaguars can, argue maybe Steelers Ravens. We have the Bears, who are 9-3, and the Packers 8-1. Bears coming off the Black Friday win 24-15 over the Eagles. Packers coming off of the 31-24 win over the Lions on Thanksgiving. This game decides the NFC North at the moment. They're both right there. The Bears are currently the number 1 seed. Packers are currently the number 6 seed. Whoever wins this game would jump to the number 2 seed. Well, if the Bears win, they keep the 1 seed. If the Packers win, they jump to the 2 seed with potential to jump to the 1 seed depending on what happens in the Seahawks game and the Rams game. So, a lot at stake for this game. With this game being played in Lambeau, I'm going to take the Packers. I do think this is going to be an absolutely amazing game. I'll say, I thought the Bears were fraudulent until that Eagles game. I was so confident going into this game before that, and after that game, I'm nervous as a Packers fan. So I'm going to pick the Packers. I'm going to rep my team, but I'm very scared. So, yeah. Sunday Night Football, Texans 7-5, Chiefs 6-6, 7-5 Texans picking up the win over the Colts 2016, while the Chiefs 6-6 fall to the Cowboys 31-20 on Thanksgiving. This is very huge for both teams. I shouldn't say the Texans. The Chiefs are grasping straws trying to get into the playoffs. Not even at this point get into the playoffs, but keep their hopes alive. And the Texans, they're still in a really great spot. They are 1 game out of a wild card or the division, with both their teams being 8-4 in the division. Same with all the wild card teams, so they're right there. I'm taking the Chiefs though. The Chiefs, they're gonna have the long week because they played on Thanksgiving, have that extra 2 free days to prepare for. They have a lot more to play for. I think the Texans can realize, we just beat the Colts. We can kind of take a week off maybe. They probably shouldn't, but they're going to. I think the Chiefs are going to take advantage of that, and, they're going to keep their hopes alive. Monday night, December 8th, Eagles 8-4, Chargers 8-4. Both teams, very much alive in this playoff picture. The Eagles actually coming off of the loss to the Bears, 24-15, but they are the 3 seed leading the NFC East. Chargers 8-4, coming with a win over the Raiders, 31-14. They are also in the playoffs. They are not leading their division, though. They are the 5 seed. With the Broncos leading their division at 10-2, so they're still a whiles away back. I'm taking the Eagles. The Eagles are in a bit of a slump. I just really like their team a lot in terms of their talent and stuff. The Chargers, I also do, but I do think they are fraudulent right now. I think they're going to be bounced in the first round. I don't like that. I need to see a bit more out of the Chargers. I don't think I'm going to see it this week. I'm taking the Eagles, and I think they're going to win comfortably. I think this is going to be a very low-scoring defensive game. And I think the Eagles, they're just going to win that. So to quickly recap my picks, the teams I have winning are the Lions, Browns, Seahawks, Colts, Commanders, Bills, Buccaneers, Ravens, Dolphins, Broncos, Rams, Packers, Chiefs, and Eagles, with the Buccaneers being the lock of the week. If I didn't say your team, it unfortunately means they are losing, unless you are the Patriots, 49ers, Panthers, and Giants, in which case they are on a bye week. Final bye week, so weeks 15 through 18. Every team playing every week. It's going to be fun for the next 4 weeks. To quickly look at the playoff picture, looking at the 1 seeds, we have the Patriots at 11-2 and the Bears at 9-3. 2 seeds who would play the 7 seeds being the Broncos at 10-2 and the Rams at 9-3. 7 seeds who'd play the 2 seeds, 8-4 Bills, 9-4 49ers. 3 seeds Jaguars who are 8-4. And Eagles who are 8-4. 6 seeds who play the 3 seeds are the Colts at 8-4 and the Packers who are 8-3-1. The 4 seeds being the 6-6 Ravens and the 7-5 Buccaneers, playing the 5 seed Chargers who are 8-4 and the Seahawks who are 9-3. Looking at teams who have clinched or been eliminated, we do not have a team who has clinched yet. However, there is a few teams who can. Denver, I believe, can with a win. I believe New England can with a Texans loss. The Broncos need a win and the Texans loss. I should have mentioned that. I think that's literally it for teams who can clinch. Looking at teams who are eliminated, we have the Cardinals who are eliminated, the Raiders who are eliminated, the Giants who are eliminated, and the Saints who are eliminated, and the Titans who are eliminated. Now, there are a few teams who are still alive, but on their last breath. We have the Vikings. We have the Falcons, technically could be. We have the Jets. We have the Commanders. And I believe that is it. So, a lot of teams fighting for anything they can possibly get. And we'll see how it goes. With everything said, hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time. Goodbye.